friend passed away probably that year or 2013, and he left me the car. I was very surprised.
Wow.
I had always lusted after the car. He never would let me drive it. Every time we went driving somewhere in it, I asked him to drive it. Said, it's supposed to rain. I don't want you driving in the rain. It's a little tricky. So he teased me for the whole time, and then he left me the car. He passed away.
Welcome, fellow car enthusiasts. My name is Rudy Samsel, and I am the co-founder of GuysWithRides.com, the only dealer-free community and marketplace for classic car enthusiasts. I believe there is a story under the hood of every classic car. That's why I created the Guys With Their Rides podcast, where I feature fellow classic car enthusiasts with interesting classic cars and the neat stories each one of them tell. Koenig Specials GmbH is a Munich-based German car tuner specializing in the cosmetic and engine modifications to a variety of luxury brands. The German tuner gained notoriety in the 1980s and 1990s for its wide-body, strake-sided conversions that mimic Ferrari Testarossas of the period. While mostly famous for its Ferrari conversions, lesser known is the fact that Koenig also offered a variety of Mercedes-Benz and even Jaguar conversions. While most of Koenig's Mercedes conversions centered on the SL and S-Class coupes, the company also produced a handful of wide-body SEL-based sedan models. This podcast highlights one such example. It's a 1987 W126 560 SEL that was originally converted when new at the Koenig facility. Following his untimely passing in 2013, the original owner bequeathed it to his best friend, who continues to own the car to this day. The following is my interview with Lou, the second owner of this 87 Koenig Special. Lou has some great stories during his 11 years of ownership. I hope you enjoy this podcast, and without further ado, my interview with Lou and his 87 Mercedes-Benz 560 SEL Koenig Special. I want to thank my dear friend Lou for having us over in his garage mahal in the wilds of South Jersey with his eclectic collection of cars. But we'll get to the one in a minute here that he shares with my dear friend Nick that you've seen in a number of our videos on the 928. But today we're focusing on a very special car for several reasons. It is a 1987 Mercedes-Benz, but not just any Mercedes-Benz. This is a 560 SEL that's been modified as one of the rare Koenig Specials. Before we get into that, Lou, what got you into cars first? Let's start from the beginning. How long have you been a car nut?
What got me into cars first? I grew up on a farm where we had to fix everything. It was not a disposable society like it is today. So on the farm, I fixed tractors, I fixed lawnmowers, and I fixed pickup trucks. We had a lot of pickup trucks, and we had cars. And I learned pretty quickly that if you needed a coil for a car, you could take it out of the tractor. A coil was a coil, and it's been a love affair with cars ever since.
Very cool. Very cool. How many cars would you say you've owned over the years?
I once made a list, which made me cry because of the cars that I sold. But it was about 60 collector cars over the years that I've owned. And I have named some of the ones that stand out in memory. My first foreign car when I was quite young was a Morris Minor convertible. And I had a Triumph Spitfire. I had a Chevy Nova 2, 62 Nova convertible, 64 GTO, 58 Impala convertible with a Continental kit, 62 Thunderbird Sports Racer. I had a 409 Chevrolet convertible, 4-speed with air. And two Avantis, and the list goes on and on and on.
And that's one of the things I knew were cut from the same cloth was kind of the fact that you like Avantis. I think that's always been on my dream garage.
It really has been. I went as far as drove out to South Bend when Newman and Altman owned the factory still, and see how the cars were built. And then after him, Steve Blake, who was a real estate developer and Avanti owner from Washington, he bought Avanti. And unfortunately, he changed the fiberglass for like a sheet molded compound, and the paint system. And within 6 months of those cars, the paint was actually peeling off because of the release agent, and he went bankrupt. Then Avanti was bought by, he was not so ethical, like Kelly, who started out with making his money in corn stalks in Texas and getting ethanol out of them. Right? And then, so he buys Avanti, and I had, my first Avanti that I bought was actually from Morristown, Jersey, Central Jersey. It was an 82. And that was a coupe. And then I traded that in for an 88 convertible, which was a real nice car. It was built on a Monte Carlo frame by that time. We used to call it the Monte Avanti. So,
well, cool.
It's good. So you got a lot of, all the mechanical parts were good, but if you needed anything else, you got to figure out where it came from.
Sure.
There was no, and parts were getting harder and harder to find once. And then Faro bought it from Kelly, moved it to Ohio, and his father was a big mall developer. And one day he said, "I'm tired of losing money," and cut him off. So
I never knew that about that part of the Avanti story.
No, I got the whole story. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, we're focused today on a very special car. So why don't you tell us about your 87 560 SEL?
My 1987 560 SEL Koenig Specials was bought brand new by my best friend who passed away. And he ordered the car locally at the Mercedes dealer. And Mercedes built the car, and then they shipped it over to the Koenig factory, where Koenig converted the car. And it's so unusual because it's a four-door. It's the SEL version, and it's got a big wing in the back of it. Only has about 49,000 miles on it right now. It's a very, very unusual car. So when Koenig got done building the car, he said, and he had been waiting already like 5 months for it. He said, "Well, when can I get it?" He goes, "Well, it goes back to Mercedes because you pay shipping when you buy the car." And he said, "Take another month." And he says, "I don't want to wait a month." So he got Lufthansa to fly it into Philadelphia. And it was, when it landed, it was impounded because all the taxes for Mercedes were paid, but none of the Koenig stuff was paid. So he had to get the attorney to get it out of the impound. He had to pay for storage. By the time he got done, it took another month anyway. So
May I ask what all that cost back?
Well, back in the day, I have the a copy of the window sticker here, and it was $65,400 plus a gas guzzler tax of $1,500 in 1987.
And why did it have the gas guzzler tax? What was the mileage?
Well, it was able to get 13 miles per gallon in the city, but you did much better on the highway. You were able to get 16 miles per gallon on premium fuel.
Your results may vary.
Your results may vary. What Koenig did is you can't see the front of this car, but the front is a SEC front end on a SEL. And the fenders, of course, they're all wide body, front and back. Behind me are straights in the doors like the Ferrari Testarossas. The wheels are BBS wheels, two-part BBS wheels.
We're going to show the party trick in a little bit on the rear wheel.
Oh, good show?
Yeah. Involves a $1 bill.
No, we're going to move it up.
We're going to move it up? Okay.
$2 bill.
$2 bill. Hope there will be no cocaine involved.
The back is like a limo. It's got footrests in it, but the motor is stopped. Yeah.
What did these put out back then?
I think they only put out about 270 horsepower.
Okay.
But it'll get up to...
It's a V8, though.
It's a V8.
Yeah.
V8. It Koenig offers the supercharger and turbochargers, but he wanted to make it easy to service here at the Mercedes deal, so he didn't want to touch anything.
Smart call.
Yeah.
And long term, that was probably a better move. Yeah.
So the gauges all say Koenig on it. It's all matched. The colors are all matched. Back's got bucket seats in it with controls for the heating and reclining and everything, and sunroof, which I've never opened. So it's a real highway cruiser. We drove this up to Connecticut for this.
That's right. I remember.
Yeah.
When we saw you there at
the Concord,
Greenwich Concourse. Thank you. Yeah. A couple years ago.
Yeah. So
COVID was still kind of weird then.
Yeah.
But they all went.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to drive it. I'm going to do the trip. Just clean it up when we get there. And it's cold. It was rainy. It was just not nice weather. We can't pick the weather we like for all the car shows.
The car is so wide in the back. That's the most distinctive thing between the double spoiler, the Ferrari Testarossa stakes.
How's that going? Strakes.
Yeah,
Straight states? Or the
Strakes. I think.
Strakes.
Yeah. Take us through the party trick you do at the car show and show how wide these wheels are.
Talk about deep dish wheels, what you'll see. But what I do is I take a piece of American currency. This has to be a $2 bill. I'll just lay it down on a rim to show a reference point of how deep those wheels are. Can't do it at 20 anymore because it's going to disappear, but I may have to go down to $1 if the copper keeps going.
He bought it. He was a car enthusiast. He was not a drug kingpin.
Right.
You are only the second owner of the car. So this car has been cocaine-free, and the dollar bills were not used for cocaine in any way, shape, or form. So
originally, this car came with 15-inch wheels.
Really?
Yes, that was the wheel size. But he couldn't get tires at a certain point in time. There were no 15-inch wide tires like that. But this has, I think, the 235, 45s or something.
Good God, it's quite a section.
I had to replace the tires. The 15-inch, the 18 inches once already, because they got flat spotted. So he called up Koenig, and Koenig had BBS make up a brand new set of 18-inch wheels. Same matter, two-tone, two-piece, and shipped them over, and they were $6,000 about 10 years ago. Well, I just had to get brand new tires for them and put them on. So
that's a shame. Because
the rims, left the 15-inch rims at the tire dealer.
You left the 15-inch rims there.
Yes, that's where he left.
Oh God,
left it.
Instead of the BBS rims. Okay, granted, he couldn't get tires for them, but
get tires. So
he couldn't.
What am I doing in here? So I match. What am I doing? So
would have made a nice coffee table at the at least, right? Oh, that's just
well. I did take it to Simeone Museum. Fred Simeone's famous neurosurgeon opened up a beautiful museum near the Philadelphia airport, and they had a charity show there, Cool Cars for Kids. But the judges in that show were blue blazer, tan pants, straw hat, just Ferraris and classic cars and things like that.
It's a Monterey kind of vibe.
And he came up to the car and looked it over, and they go, "It's a very nice car, but it should have 15-inch wheels."
Oh,
they knew it. They knew that car should have 15-inch wheels. And I explained to them what the situation is, and they said, "Well, today you can get those wheels, those tires made, and you should get the original red spec, put it on." Which you could see that I never done.
I think it looks better with. I haven't seen it. It fills the rims, the wheels better.
It does fill the wheel wells better.
Yeah,
15 inches, 2-inch spacing. And it's too small. Well, for the size of the car, it looks too small.
That's amazing that they only went with 15-inch back then, because even my 85 928 was all four wheels were 16-inch by that point. I would have thought that at least, maybe not Mercedes, but certainly Koenig, when they were building these, would have gone up. But what's to say, What's the thing you like most about the car? Is it just looking in it, driving it?
What I like most about the car, well, I do like the history of it, but I like looking at it. It just, you don't see yourself coming and going. You won't see another one no matter where you go.
How did you get the car? You're the second owner, correct?
I am the second owner.
Why don't you tell us how you got the car?
Right. So it's 2014. My friend probably passed away probably that year or 2013. And he left me the car. I was very surprised.
Wow.
I had always lusted after the car. He never would let me drive it. Every time we went driving somewhere in it, I asked him to drive. He said, it's supposed to rain. I don't want you driving in the rain. It's a little tricky. So he teased me for the whole time, and then he left me the car. That's the way he said.
Did you know ahead of time, or you found out after the fact?
I found out after the fact.
Wow.
I found out the fact. He left it to me. The car was at his condo in Boca, Florida, Boca Raton, because when he was out there, Rolls or a Bentley were very common. So we went to a fancy restaurant. It didn't mean anything. But when he had this car, he drove up to a restaurant. The valet would park it right in front because it was so different.
Nice.
So it worked out very well for him with in Florida. And she also had the car shipped back for me. So I had the car and shipping.
Wow. Very nice.
To get it back.
This car has several things we're going to get into. One of them is the fact that when I was researching it, I didn't realize it, but this was one of the first 50 cars, lot number 47 to be exact, to be on Bring a Trailer in 2014. So this was one of the first 50 cars. Why don't you take us through that story about being on Bring a Trailer back when it was first starting out as an auction?
Back in the day, just for a lark, just to see, to get and put it out there for, see what happens, what kind of reaction I would get from the collector community. I thought, and it was free. It didn't even cost me for some reason back then. I remember
they were still trying to get it off
the rack. So I said, sure, I'll send you pictures and, stuff then. And I sent it in to them, and they said, what do you want to put for a reserve? And I put I never wanted to sell it. And they didn't argue back then on reserve price.
Quite a bit different now.
So I put a ridiculous reserve on it, never intending to sell. And the comments were like, cocaine. The comments were brutal.
Yeah.
I'm glad my friend was dead because they were like insulting to him. It was like, it was awful on British. They go back to the days of Miami Vice and everything. So, the comments were like, and I said, listen, this belonged to a friend of mine. You don't have to insult, like everything. There was no, I think now you go flag them all and you can do that. I don't remember you can do that. But I have to say, every once in a while, I'll still get an inquiry from somebody and asking about it. Do I still have it? And I remember the biggest thing was one guy was after me. He goes, when was the last time the oil was changed? And I had the thing is just, well, it's been like 10 years. You should check the oil again. I go, it only has another 100 miles in 10 years. Oil doesn't go bad,
Right.
Oh, you should change it. Did you change your oil yet? And I go, I'm going to block you. Completely allow the oil change. I did have 2 inquiries from the Middle East about buying a car, and I had one very serious one, and offered a lot of money. And I thought about it, and I said, it's going to go over there, and it's going to sit in the desert, right? We'll drive it for a little bit, I get tired of it, and I'll be sitting in the garage or get abandoned. And I said, I can't do that to my friend's car. It's got to stay here. So
real.
Yeah.
Great story.
So anyway, it's going to be Nick's favorite car after the thing.
That's great. It was an early Bring a Trailer car, but then this isn't a prop. This is actually the Raddest show 2018, when RADWood was still an independent show,
right,
by the creators. Unfortunately, like many other things, it's been acquired by Haggerty and is no longer what it once was. But I digress. So tell us this story, because it's a great story.
Right. So it was a Sunday. I knew that I never heard of RADWood. I knew I had a car that fit into their criteria, and I didn't register because I didn't know what the weather was going to be like, and I didn't want to take it out if the weather was bad. So it happened to be a nice day, and I said, okay, let's take a ride over and look at the cars there. Not knowing whether they let me in or not. So when I drove in, it was at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. When I drove in, they had a lot of the wooden barricades by the entrance to get in, and I just followed the road around. And at one point at an entrance, there was somebody who was involved with RADWood, and he stopped me and he said, "Follow me." So he never asked for money, so I never paid any entrance fee. I owe you a couple bucks and things. So I never paid. And then I followed him, and this is from the outskirts. He took me right to the center where the announcing table was, and he parked me right across from a red Ferrari Testarossa. And there was a lot of people around that car until I pulled in. And then he all just walked across the street to my car. The guy was standing there by himself, and then he came over to look at my car. So, and so it was a fun day. There were a lot of nice cars. There were, I think they said close to 600 for the Philadelphia RADWood. And when the time came for the awards, I'm listening to everybody get an award in this category and that category. And I thought the Ferrari was going to get it. It was the only Testarossa there. And when it came to the Raddest show, they announced the Koenig, and I was in shock. So this is the prize, which is actually really a video game. You open it up and you plug it in, and I guess this is one of the games. I never played it. It's got a notch here from the cable, but I never played it. So this is my awards. Gave me a little metal plaque. They went all out, on awards.
Well, now when Andrew, I saw earlier the shows that they are doing this year, which was nothing in the Northeast, a big miss on their part, on Hagen's part. But I see they made these nice plates now, kind of like what they do at New Hope show. But yeah, it's just they've gone upscale with it, with the shipment.
Right. So they invited me down and said, "Come down to Millville," when they had the RADWood in Millville. Mm-hmm. Then they said, "Listen, you only can win once. You can't win again."
Makes sense.
It makes sense. You got to let somebody else win. I go, okay. You're basically for display only from now on. So I got to understand.
Speaking of RADWood, we actually played a little publicity stuff with this car with the folks from RADWood and Randy Nonberg from Bring a Trail. And it's kind of coming back to me. We were talking about it earlier. Somehow we knew this car was going to be on, and we submitted pictures.
We submitted pictures with the
guys that ride
logo on the car, and they showed it.
They showed it.
Not for long.
Not for long.
But
they quickly realized what had happened.
Right.
But we got it on.
We got it on their bike. Yeah, that was yeah. That
was easily one of my bright spots in COVID. Was pulling that off. Was Randy Nonnenberg from Bring a Trailer. Bradley Burnell was one of the founders of RADWood, but and then Art Cervantes and a couple of their buddies. They couldn't hold the show. The click. Yeah, the in crowd.
Yeah, the in crowd.
So the punks from Jersey pumped them.
Right, we did get that. And if we would try to make a comment on Bring a Trailer referencing a similar car on Guys with Rides, they would block it.
Exactly.
They would. You can't say that there's another car like it somewhere else.
So it worked. It worked at some degree. Because now they know Guys with Rides.
Right. We brought. Okay. Right.
We made them. We gave them brand awareness.
Well, I think I'm banned from Bring a Trailer. I tried to submit things, so I keep getting refused. It's like, so I think I've been banned from Bring a Trailer.
What do you mean you're submitting? Aren't you supposed to be a Guys with Rides?
No, but there was things that I submitted just to see if they would accept it. Right.
Right.
Just for a lark, that would send a picture of the tow truck, and you need to see if they would take it.
Yeah.
Nah, we're not interested.
Well, Lou, thank you. It's Always a pleasure coming down to the Garage Mahal and catching up. There's a story under every hood. This Koenig Special has a couple of great stories, and it's great that you're the second owner and your best friend, or rest in peace, willed it to you, and you're continuing that legacy of enjoying it, and he knows it's in good hands. Any final thoughts?
No, you know what? I think that you need to come down again and do some of the other special cars.
We will do that.
They have stories with them too, and they're fun cars that you may not see too often.
I think we'll definitely do that. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And so thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this. Look for many more. We have a lot of cool cars lined up. I would encourage you to like this podcast if you enjoyed it. Even better, if you haven't done it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, as it doesn't cost you anything to do that, but it helps the algorithm recognize this is a growing channel, and we want to get this out to as many car enthusiasts as we can. So thank you for watching. And if you haven't done so, please check out guyswithrides.com. Guyswithrides.com is the only dealer-free community and marketplace for classic car enthusiasts. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching this podcast. Please press the like and subscribe button, and be sure to check out all of the great content on our YouTube channel, as well as our main website, guyswithrides.com.